All right. Well, Chad, thank you for joining us. We know it's a very busy week for you, so we very much appreciate your time. And we are going to go straight to questions just so we can maximize our time with you. And we will start with Jordan Bianchi. Jordan, go ahead with your question.
Thanks. Appreciate your time, Chad. Chad, how does it feel to be maybe responsible for keeping Jimmie Johnson out of the playoffs in his final season?
That's a weird question. Why do you guys always try to pit us against one another?
You guys are going against each other for the final playoff spot.
Yeah, man. It's cool, man. It's all part of it. It's unfortunate that we're in these positions. Obviously, Sands, a problem with Charlotte for the 48, and then Jimmie needing to sit out for COVID, he would be, locked in for sure. And unfortunate for us, we've had some bad things happen on the racetrack with tires and et cetera. You can just nail 100 things out there, but it's unfortunate we're in this position, the both of us. But man, it's racing. It is what we do.
Any communication between you and Jimmie this week at all? Like good-natured bantered or anything?
No. I mean, oddly enough, as I got home from Dover, I was doing my post-race notes, and I was just pondering it a little bit. It was like, midnight or something like that as I was doing my notes. And I was like, man, it's so weird that I'm going to be battling, the 48 car on this going into Daytona. And then the next morning at like 8 a.m., he sent me a text. He's like, man, isn't it weird that we're going to be competing with one another for this? So we had a phone conversation. We had a texting thread right there, and then we had a phone conversation a little bit later in the week. And yeah, man, it is what it is. I mean, we're both professionals here. We understand what's going on, and it's racing and it's competition, and we'll go down there. And man, hopefully we both get in. I think we've got that possibility. We both run really well at the super speedways. Hendrick engines, and the guys at the shop built some amazing race cars. So hopefully we can get out there and get some stage points and race well and get both the 24 and the 48 into the playoffs.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we're going to take our next question from Dustin Long. Dustin, go ahead.
Thank you. Chad, how significant is it to you that you've made the postseason every year in its form in NASCAR? Is that something that is significant, or is it, quite frankly, the way you view it is something that is expected and not really worthy of much discussion because that's part of your job?
Quite honestly, up until this year, I always thought it was pretty easy to make the playoffs, honestly. I hadn't put a whole lot into it. Obviously, the desire is extremely high to get into the playoffs. That's what I want to do for sure, 100%. But I hadn't really thought about that a whole lot. It's just what you're supposed to do. It's just part of the job, right? The expectation is to be in the playoffs. So I never looked at it as anything other than just what you're supposed to do. Does that make sense?
Does it change how, as I see you, in kind of the coach role, since you said it was something you hadn't thought as much in years past, since you kind of had the little bit more of the grind here more recently in the last few years, how has that changed how you coach or direct your team? Because it's a different situation than what you're used to.
It is a little bit different for sure. We actually just had a team meeting not too long ago, and was chatting with the guys. And here's the way I take this, right? All my years of being in this sport and being in different levels of success, somebody's always trying to give me advice on how to handle things and how to approach the weekend, how to approach a race, how to approach a championship. And I told them, I said, you guys need to tell whoever it is trying to tell you how to handle your emotions in this type of situation to just go away and just let you deal with it in your way, because you're a professional and you guys are doing things the way that you can to the best of your ability. Only thing that's going to happen if people start giving you advice is just going to cloud you and misdirect you. So you got to believe in your heart. And that's just the truth. And, from my standpoint, I fall back on what my experiences are. I fall back on my teammates. We're gonna try to lift each other to the highest level we possibly can this weekend to go out there and compete and hopefully come out of there with not only a playoff berth but a race win, because that's what we're ultimately trying to do, right? So we're working hard on that from that respect. I think we're capable of getting down there and racing really competitively. The thing I'm most excited about, quite honestly, are the racetracks that are coming up afterwards. With the lack of practice this year, it's no mystery that the Chevrolet Camaro has been a little bit difficult for us to try to get on top of. But if you go back and you look, I think our performances at second races or a second time at a given racetrack have been pretty good. So I'm really looking forward to getting back to some of these racetracks for a second time. Your Darlingtons, your Martinsvilles, you go and you look at Kansas, Vegas, some of these tracks. I really think that we're going to be performing exceptionally well and get Hendrick Motorsports back where it needs to be.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Mike Solarte. Mike, go ahead.
Thanks very much. Chad, you've obviously done this with a lot of success in your career, but the unpredictability of Daytona being the cutoff race with everything that's on the line, does your chair ever get comfortable when you're down there, even for the 500, or even when this race is normally in July? Or is this really a sticky seat coming into this weekend, knowing that it is the cutoff, and as mentioned, the unpredictability of things, it's such a wild card for you guys?
No, I won't be comfortable until I get my butt on the airplane to fly out of that place. I can tell you that. It's a treacherous racetrack. Obviously, it's in the time slot it is for a reason, right? We like that unpredictability and that excitement when it comes to cutoff races and stages, or not stages, but cutoff races for the playoffs or to make the playoffs. I mean, it's all there by design, right? I love Daytona. It's a great racetrack. It's been really good to me over the years. We've had a lot of success from the teams that I've been a part of, whether it be the old 24 to the 92 car to the 48 to the new 24 team. So uncomfortable is not really what's going to be going on for those 400 miles down there in Daytona.
Thanks, Chad. Good luck.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Claire B. Lang. Claire, go ahead.
Thank you. So you talked about, and it makes a lot of sense, relying on experience and falling back on what you've done and learned, but you're with a young driver now. When you fall back on the experience and you fall back on what you've done, isn't it a totally different picture or not?
When you're a young driver, you're saying? Look, William, so this is kind of what I was trying to get at. He and a lot of the members of this team are young, for sure, and not just young in experience, but young in age. And the thing is, they're all in this position for a reason, and that's kind of where I was really trying to reinforce that you just do what it is that you're good at, and rely on what has gotten you here. And Williams had a lot of success at the super speedways over the years on trucks and Xfinity Series, and we won the 150 earlier this year. We've run really well in a lot of the races. Unfortunately, like a lot of the folks out there, our finish rate is pretty low, which is always frightening. But our performance has always been high. So as long as he does what it is that he needs to do, which I think he will, he's going to do just fantastic. Williams is a very calculated guy, very calm by nature for the most part. So very, 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 very intuitively, he sees a situation unfold, and I think he'll do a good job with what we've got to go down there. And we usually do pretty well until we get to the end of the race, and then usually it doesn't go so well. So we'll just see how it happens this weekend.
Does the great Chad Knaus still get nervous? You've been through so many situations, and you've learned to deal with that. And you come across as being a very strong person who doesn't let it show the stress, but there's a lot of stress. I don't know how much stress there is this time around, because it would be if William gets in and achieves something great this year, you will have achieved great things just even getting them to that point, right? But does the great Chad Knaus get stressed over all this?
Yeah, of course. You get stressed, you get nervous. That's why I do it. Quite honestly, if there wasn't any pressure, I don't believe I would want to do it. So I enjoy the competitiveness of it. I enjoy the puzzle. Everything is a riddle, and you've got to try to solve the riddle. And that's, to be first at the end of 400 miles at this race, and to have the championship at the end of the season. And it's a daunting task as you look at the races and the things that you try to navigate throughout the course of the year. The stress is high, but that's why we do it, right? I love my job. I got one of the coolest jobs in the world, and I'm very, very fortunate to be able to do what it is that I do.
I wish you good luck. Thank you, Chad.
Thank you.
Okay, our next question will come from Bob Pockers. Bob, go ahead.
Yeah, Chad, you were talking about the stress and talking about people giving advice on how to handle the emotions. So I'm kind of curious a little bit more about what's your emotion been this week? I mean, is it excitement? Is there still frustration from the season? And then also, is there any emotion tied to Jimmie as far as whether he makes it or not for you?
Well, my emotions is I learned quite a while ago to be able to put things to bed pretty quickly from a previous weekend, and I definitely don't reflect back too much on what happened throughout the course of the year to put us in this situation, because that's a waste of energy. I've got a lot more important things to do, so I don't really worry about that a whole lot, Bob. Honestly, you know. The thing about Jimmie, I mean, man, who knows what's going to happen? Like I said, my intention is from Hendrick Motorsports to put both of these cars in the playoffs, right? We've got a shot at it, right? And that's what we need to try to do. And I'm hoping Jimmie makes it. I hope the hell the man goes out there and wins a championship, honestly. And that would just be spectacular to see him be able to do that, and knowing that I was a part of that would be really, really awesome, right? So, but we'll just have to see how the cards fall, man. It's a tough spot. It's a tough race. It's it is what it is.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to take our next question from Lee Spencer. Lee, go ahead.
Thank you, and thank you for your time today, Chad. Just curious, have your priorities changed since becoming a father?
Well, of course. I mean, you got a couple more little responsibilities you got to stick in there. Anybody that says that they don't will be lying, right? It's changed my life a little bit, but I don't think it's taken away from what we do at HMS much at all. I've got a great wife that understands my job and understands what it is that I do. She's able to give me the freedom that I need to have to work and work long hours and be gone on weekends and things of that nature. So yeah, it's definitely changed, Lee, but it's not like I'm doing things a whole lot different, I'll be honest.
So do you enjoy it as much? I know you're getting all these questions about, the emotions and all of that. Do you enjoy getting up and coming to the shop as much now as you ever have?
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. I don't know how to explain it. So my alarm goes off in the morning, Lee, and I hit snooze once, and then my feet hit the floor, and then I'm in a mad rush to get teeth brushed, showered, shaved, dressed, in the car, drive down Highway 85, usually about 85 miles an hour, so I can get here as fast as I can and get in here and get to work. And I've been doing that now for, I don't know how many years. Sorry, that was Greg Ives. I don't know how many years I've been doing it, but a long time, and I don't foresee that changing anytime soon. I love coming here. I love coming into this complex. It's the coolest place in the world. For folks that haven't been here in a while, I mean, it's just amazing what we've been able to be a part of here at this facility. And my number one goal is to get the 24 car into victory lane and running the way that it's supposed to be, and all of the cars here at Hendrick Motorsports. That's where I'm at.
Appreciate your time. Good luck this weekend.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, Chad, we don't want to take up too much of your time, so thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it, and we wish you the best this weekend in Daytona.
All right, thanks, gang. And again, guys, I really appreciate all that you do, and it's crazy times out there right now, but you guys are fantastic. Keep doing what you do. Keep putting it out there in the positive light. Don't let you haters out there put in a negative tone about people and whatnot. It's good stuff out there. We got great racing, and it's been a lot of fun, and I appreciate all of you guys doing good stuff. So thank you very much, folks.
We appreciate it, Chad. Thank you.
Bye.
And to the media here on the in the room, apologies, we did not get to everyone's question with Chad, but we did have a limited time with him, so wanted to be sensitive to that. So an audio recording and video will be available after this Zoom session. We will work to get that put up on NASCARmedia.com. Also, we will have more Zooms tomorrow.